Hey, everybody. Is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher. Here I am with another book review for Spider Man No Way Home. So please come on in the room. I just want to tell you a little bit about my reaction, my review of this movie that I just saw with my BFF. So just letting you know now, for the first 5 or 10 minutes, I'm just going to give you my review of the movie. But after 10 minutes, which is the halfway point, of this video, I'm gonna have some spoilers. So letting y'all know, if you just want a movie review of the movie that you should go see it, stay for the first 10 minutes. But after the first 10 minutes, I'm gonna get into some spoilers because there was some part about this movie that it made me feel some type of way that I wasn't expecting, especially from a Marvel movie that is supposed to be giving me suspense, drama, action, and all those things. So please come on in the room. Please like, share, and subscribe to any other platforms, community walls, or any of the Facebook groups, Twitter, Instagram, DM. Hey, Nova Real Show. Hey, Miss MW50. Okay, so letting you all know, this is no spoilers. I said it's first 10 minutes, no spoilers. I'm warning everybody. All right, but after 10 minutes, we're gonna get into some spoilers. So this movie is the third in the, I guess you say, the trilogy now of the new Spider-Man. There's been three different versions, the third different version of Spider-Man. If you know anything about comic books, they go through a series and then someone else reimagines it and comes along and does a, hey, I become your Freeland. Okay. They come along and they do a new version. Like there's been several different Hulk manifestations, things of that nature. And so I just wanted to, and also Spider Man has also been an animated movie. Remember, you need to go watch that Oscar award winning with a black character, voiced by a black character, voice actor. So in this trilogy, if you didn't like, now, okay, let me just say this: some of you may not have seen the last movie, but you can still follow this one and still get a great experience. Okay, this is what I like Infinity War. People who were gone pop back up. Okay, pop back up. You're like, hey, I remember him. I remember him. I remember her. Oh, I love that character. Oh my God, is he back? Yes, he's back. So the major villains from the other previous manifestations of Spider-Man make a reappearance, but I'm not going to tell you who. First a minute. Uh, maybe the other Spider-Man show up. Maybe not. Okay. Maybe Uncle Ben shows up. Okay. Um, we do, however, we do get, as you can see on the poster, we do get Doctor Strange. Because remember, Doctor Strange has this power. He can like space and time. You can see infinite possibilities. And so, what has happened from the last movie, where Spider-Man was far from home, he was on a trip, school trip, because it was a senior year, about to be senior year, and there's another group of people got him into a situation where at the end of that movie, part two, the government now, everyone knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Now that he's in this movie, it has become a problem for him. And so he goes to Doctor Strange and say, hey, can you make it so that no one knows that I'm Spider-Man? It has affected my relationship with my aunt. It's affected my relationship with my girlfriend and my best friend. Remember, this is also a younger Spider-Man who is about to go to college. So he's really like, remember, he don't have Tony Stark there anymore to be his, father figure. All right. There's no Uncle Ben in this version of Spider-Man as well. Okay. So okay, that's great. It is excellent. And part of me wants to watch it again because I had to go to the restroom like 3 times because I had a big old soda. It was half Pepsi, half Diet Pepsi, half regular Pepsi. And so I had to go to the restroom a couple of times, so I missed some stuff. And I just really loved it. I saw it in, we were supposed to see it in IMAX, but we didn't. So we saw it in RPX, which is like the next step underneath IMAX. So it really looked good visually. Love the vision. Love the whoever is on the animation committee, the team, whoever's on the prosthetics. Y'all was on it. Y'all need to get y'all an Oscar for this, because it was like, oh, what? Because as you can see in the picture, you have the little Mr. Was one of the people, Octavius Spider-Man. He's bad. And it's like he was doing this and doing that. And there were some characters that showed up. They were giving the punchlines. They were giving me funny. I was like, I was loving it. I was loving it. And then when certain people showed up, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe you showed up. And other people were like, we were clapping because we saw them. We're like, yeah, it's that. So sorry for me everywhere. But hey, Pikachu Rock Summer, thank you. Got this from Mama Tao, did this for me. These are actually a week old. So I did it for the Christmas spirit. Also, memory of my aunt. She loved wearing red polish. So I wore it for her too. So he's trying to fix it. Remember from the other Marvel movies, Avengers, they were trying to change all the time and put everything back together. And so Dr. Strange told him, like, hey, I don't have a time stone anymore. So he comes with the next big thing. It comes with a spell. But the spell don't act the way it should. He probably shouldn't have been tapping with it in the beginning anyway. And so when the spell doesn't go right, it kind of like cracks the universe. It brings in other people from other versions of the earth, of the universe. So you're going to get villains and heroes from the other Spider-Man movies who make an appearance. And so you got to go watch it to make an appearance. You always can kind of tell from the posters right here, that Dr. Otto Octavius is one of them. Okay? So you'll see others now. Not everybody from the previous other Spider-Man movies showed up, because I was looking for a couple of characters, and I was like, why didn't they show up in this one? It's just like, but the one character I was really surprised, but maybe I shouldn't be surprised. He didn't come through the multiverse, which I don't like him anyway, but he does such a good job. He used to be a therapist on Law and Order, and then he became he's on the commercials for State Farm, and now he plays J. Jonah Jameson in this Spider-Man. Now I want to say he has played that character in all the versions of Spider-Man. I think he has. Okay, unless I don't know. I think I remember one Spider-Man. I think it was Lawrence Fishburne. I don't know. But anyway, I really like this movie. It did remind me of a little bit of Avengers Infinity War, where you like everybody that kind of like wasn't there anymore. They all get to come back, and they make these entrances that are just like, oh, I can't believe it. It was just like, some of them is very dramatic, some of them not so dramatic, and it was really like it like brought the nostalgia back from when I watched, the first Spider-Man. Now the second version of Spider-Man I did see. It's not my favorite one, but it still was visually, it's still important to the timeline. And also it brought new villains. We see same villains are showing up. Some of them are showing up, not all of them. So, but definitely the fight sequence between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man was very surprising, because I was like, he's a kid. He wants to change the world. Then when the things don't go right, and then Doctor Strange is like, okay, I got to put everything back together. And he was like, no, but give them a second chance. And I'm just like, dude, did you not see what the villains did in the other movies? But he wasn't on those arcs. You need to stop. But, I did, but he's still trying to be a better person. He feel like he can change it. That's all I think about this movie. Like, he wants to, there's an outcome he doesn't like, and he wants to change it. But it seems like when he tries to change it, he makes it worse. And so part of me also felt like, dang, if he ain't gone to Doctor Strange, would that even been a movie? Well, none of this would have happened, you know? So the movie is 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours. Please do stay for the end credits. There are 2 end credits. There is a connection. Remember, each Marvel movie connects to the very next one. Okay? So I don't know if you noticed. Back in October, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, another Marvel movie came out, right? Then this past weekend, No Way Home came out. At the end of this movie, there's another tie-in to Venom and also Doctor Strange. Remember, whoever's like that character is in here for a reason, and it ties into the next one. Okay, they're doing the same thing they did with all the different Avenger characters, and then they culminated in with the Avenger series. Remember, there was Iron Man, there was Captain America, there was Hulk. Was Hulk one? Kind of was one. And then Black Panther. There was all tied in to the Avengers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is actually what Marvel is doing with what's called Phase 2. Those Marvel movies, Iron Man, Captain America. I'm sorry, Thor. Thor is the one I was thinking of. Thor, the Avengers movie. Those were part of what's called Phase 1. Now we're in Phase 2. So Spider-Man gets his third movie. Black Panther's going to get the second movie, even though Chadwick Boseman's not there. Lord rest his soul. I forgot her name. Is it Letitia Wright? Is going to be the new Black Panther, which is actually reflective of the comic books. Okay, so you know there's going to be a tie-in to that. Also, there's going to probably be a tie-in to Ant-Man eventually as well. Okay, but this movie definitely stay for the end credit. Okay, my suggestion: definitely go to the restroom before. Watch how much you drink during. Okay, get you a comfortable seat. All right. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. All right. So you can really enjoy the experience of the movie. It was really a great movie. I really felt all the emotions. I felt, anger at certain things, happiness at others, sadness at other things. There was a little emotion, like Marvel be tricking me sometimes. I think I just go into have a very nice movie that I'm gonna watch and enjoy, and they hit me with the emotion, and I'm just like. And so remember what I said about Ghostbusters? I got emotional doing Ghostbusters. Oh, but this time I poured on the tears. I poured on the tears because what they did that I'm gonna talk about in another 2 minutes. So if you don't want to hear no spoilers after these 2 minutes, okay? Oh, your girl's gonna go see it again because I think I want to see it again too. But when I'm going home, but what I am gonna go home and do, I'm gonna go home and watch Venom, Let There Be Carnage, because I need to understand why that scene at the end of this movie. What was that all about? I need the tie-in. I did see the first Venom, which is on Hulu. Okay, but the second Venom came out in October, so it's still showing in the theaters, but you can rent it from Voodoo.com, Amazon Prime, and YouTube. You can rent it, so I'm gonna rent it and watch it. Oh, she cried too. Oh, okay. Cause I got okay. Where your daughter's at? Where your daughter's at? Show them this video, cause I was boo-hooing. I'm like, what is y'all doing this? Why are y'all making me cry? Okay, so I know Daryl's probably gonna make fun of me for this. Somehow you always talking about you need some reefer. I said no. That what happened in the last movie really. Did I do a Ghostbusters review? I probably should do one. I have time this week. But anyway, great movie to go see. Now, if you don't want to go, now some of you are like, you went to the theater. Yes, I did. I went to the theater. I went to the theater. Okay. One, I got a booster. I had a mask, even though when I was eating the popcorn and stuff, I wasn't having a mask. My friend had her mask on most of the time. There were other people there with masks. I saw some older people there with their masks, and then there were some other people who were not. The workers, I think now because Texas is optional, but it's strongly encouraged. So if you're concerned about that, definitely go to a theater where you can space out from other people. So like me and my friend, we were close, but we were distant from other people. Uh, with the Regal theaters, you can actually you pick your seat beforehand. Okay. Now, if you want to go to maybe not have so many people there, then I would suggest you go to like a pick a different time where a lot of people are not going to be there and go at that time. So I'll say the earlier, the better, especially now since the kids are out for vacation. So do a Monday or Tuesday if you didn't see it this weekend. Okay. Um, Make sure you bring your mask, your hand sanitizer, things like that. Bring some tissues because I got teary eyed. I was, I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it. Marvel, Disney, I was not. Okay, so definitely go see this movie. If you do choose to see it in IMAX or RPX, it's $10 more. I'm bougie, so I like to have a really good experience. Now, if you're like, hey, I'm not going to the theater, then you're gonna have to wait a couple of months until it is on Disney Plus. I did not go see Black Widow in the theater, so I had to wait a couple of months till it was on there. Okay. Um, Shang-Chi, when it came out, it was in the theaters and on Disney Plus. Disney depends on what the movie is. They'll put both in the theaters and on the app. That's what they did with Black Widow. Well, Black Widow's a little different. They made you do pay-per-view something on the Disney Plus and in the theaters. And eventually now everyone can see Black Widow. Black Widow is good if you need to see that. So because it ties into the Hawkeye series, which is now available, new episode every week on Disney Plus. Okay, so definitely go see this movie. It's great. It's wonderful. Take your mask. Hope you had a booster. Social distance when you're there. Wash your hands. Bring your tissues. Okay. All right. So for those of you who don't want spoilers, I'll see y'all later. But the rest of you, hold on to your seats. I got to talk to us. I got to talk about this. So I'm gonna give you another 30 seconds, a minute to leave the chat. Okay, because it's gonna be some spoilers. Just I'm telling you now. Don't think I didn't tell you. I told you. And I actually went over past my time. Okay. I want to know. Okay, let me just say this. Let me just say this because it's getting into spoilers. Okay. So these are the villains that showed up. Dr. Octavius is one. The Green Goblin, the Sandman, and Jamie Foxx's character from the second Spider-Man uh person. Okay, Andrew Garfield. Okay, and there was two Andrew Garfields in Spider-Man movies. There was three Tobey Maguire. So Tobey Maguire was first, then it was Andrew Garfield, and now Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Okay, you got that. Okay, so all of their villains, all of their major villains, came first. Okay, I kind of wanted the Spider-Mans to come first, but they didn't. So Octavius came, then the Green Goblin. He's still crazy. He got two different personalities. I thought it was William Dafoe who plays Osborn and the Green Goblin. I thought the song was gonna show up because I forget, is it part 3 of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man that Norman's son takes up the Goblin character? And so I thought he was going to be the one to come back, but no, it was William Dafoe. But William Dafoe did an excellent job. Oh my God, he need an Oscar for what he did today, because I was like, y'all were too trusting in him. He was too trusting. They were too trusting in him. He was crazy. It was crazy, and he did the best. Everybody else, I should have known he was the smartest, because Octavius got greedy. He got caught first. Then the Sandman got caught, even though he was actually helping Tom Holland Spider-Man when the electricity guy that Jamie Foxx character played. And Jamie Foxx, I love Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx supposed to have got some money, because in this one they got to let him look like sexy Jamie Foxx, because he showed up when they finally was able to, him, the Sandman, and the new Tom Holland Spider-Man got together and was able to stop him once he came into their universe. Basically, Jamie Foxx was there naked, but we didn't see anything from the top down. But the way he said, so y'all just gonna stand there and pretend I ain't got no clothes on. But he was like, oh, look at me. Look, I look so much better, because he was like a nerd in the Andrew Garfield version of Spider. So the Goblin and Octavius were the villains of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. The Sandman, the Dr. Connors, the lizard, showed up too. But they didn't show him getting captured. They didn't show him like, oh, he already here. Dr. Strange brought him back. He's like, here. So he did. And so what was good about Dr. Strange is, even though he was trying to help Tom Holland Spider-Man, he had to figure out like, oh, we did the spell and all these people came in here looking for you. The spell backfired. And so now all of them are looking for Peter Parker, who is Spider-Man. So they all came into the world. So Dr. Strange is like, okay, you go find them. And then he gets his friends to help him find them. And so once he sees them and subdues them, he sends them to like the basement of Dr. Strange's like house or whatever. So everybody successfully gets caught. So each of the different Spider-Mans, their villains get captured. But like I said, but everyone is trying to figure out like, oh, we in a different universe. But the one who got dissociative identity disorder or multiple personality disorder, my friend said schizophrenia. I think because he's hearing voices, but I'm like, he got two different personalities. He got the Goblin and he got Norman Osborn. And so Norman Osborn shows up at Aunt May's job. She helps people. She feeds people. She helps the homeless. She helps people. So she's like, Peter, you need, Tom Holland, Peter. Oh, you need to help him. He needs help. They all need help. And so Dr. Strange is like told this version's Peter Parker, like, hey, we got to send them all back, because in those other realities, their Peter Parkers defeated these people, killed them because they were bad. And so Aunt May convinces this Peter Parker, like, no, what we do is we help people. With great power comes great responsibility. You have a gift. That's what she's telling him. So he believes in what Aunt May does. And then he goes back to Dr. Strange. And he's like, hey, Dr. Strange, we got all the people, but I think we can help them so they'll stop being evil. We got some technology, and then we'll send them back so to give them a second chance. And so a lot of them, like Octavius, the Goblin, Norman Osborn, and the Sandman, they're like, oh, okay, I'm on board for this. But remember, the lizard, Dr. Connors, he's like, in his head, he wants everybody to be a lizard. Then Jamie Foxx character, I should know what Jamie Foxx character is called. I should know better. he likes what he looks like, but he misses the power. So he's not really too keen on being fixed, you know? So Doctor Strange, he's about to do the spell to put everybody back where they were in their own time, and I'm sorry, in their own universe. Then all of a sudden, Peter Parker remembers what Aunt May said and decides to grab the box that was holding like all the magic and everything they needed to do to put the universes back together. Then for like for 5 or 10 minutes, he and Doctor Strange are crisscrossing all over goddamn New York. And it looks wonderful. I'm like, and then you think like, okay, Doctor Strange is gonna get this from him because this guy, because he's a wizard. He's a magician. Then all of a sudden, Spider-Man figures out, oh, this is like math. And he basically goes from one end of the kind of like they go into like an alternate world. He crisscrosses Strange 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 times into a spider web. Into a spider web. So math teachers teaching geometry, you're teaching math. That scene is probably a really good scene to show your kids. That scene right there. So he's able to get Strange in there. He said, I'm sorry, Dr. Strange gotta go. So Dr. Strange for like 30, 40 minutes of the rest of the movie is somewhere we can't see him. He in the stuck where Tom Holland, Peter Parker sitting him. So he goes back and he like tells the villains now his friends are gonna help. I think I can help y'all. Don't know what I'm gonna. He tells friends, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna help you. So he basically takes them back all to Aunt May's house. Well, actually, it's not Aunt May's house. It's Happy's house because they can't stay in May's apartment because everyone knows who Peter Pan and he's getting death threats and they're throwing bricks through his window. Oh, guess who I saw up? Guess who Peter Parker lawyer was? Daredevil. Matt Murdock. Loved it. And then a brick gets thrown through a window and Matt Murdock catches it. And so Peter Parker's like, so what kind of lawyer are you? How did you? No, he says, how did you catch that? And he's like, I'm a damn good lawyer. So, because so like basically, they start with Otto Octavius, and they basically replaced a little implant or whatever that was in the back of his neck that was controlling the little spider legs. And when they replaced that, and actually Osborn was helping this Peter Parker Tom Holland Peter Parker to fix him. And he comes out and he actually doesn't want to kill nobody. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe Aunt May was right. So next, they are who was the next person they were going to fix? Oh, they went to put something on Jamie Foxx's character to basically stop all the electricity that was building up in his system. But remember, Jamie Foxx really doesn't want to be fixed, but they're starting to work on him. So Aunt May, his friends, his friends are in a different location, but Aunt May is helping him with the 5 villains to like fix whatever's wrong with them. Okay, they're gonna get the Sandman, Baker being the Sandman. They're gonna fix Mr. Connor so he's not living no more. And they already fixed Otto Octavius. So all of a sudden, but they left the lizard. They left the lizard in the car. He was like, I don't want to come up there in Happy's townhome. I'm gonna stay here in the car. So while he's doing that, Johnny Jonah Jameson has someone following Spider-Man because he really doesn't like him. So basically, the lizard, he's like cooped up in the van or the bus or whatever. And so all of a sudden, they're using some old Stark. By the way, they're using some old Stark technology that Happy had in his house to help all these villains, and it looks like it's going to work. The Sandman really wants to be helped because he wants to go back to his kid. Then all of a sudden, we see Peter Parker is like, he like, his spider senses start tingling, and it comes like everyone's asking him, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And then when all of a sudden um he sees everybody starting to like, "Hey, dude, are you all right? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And all of a sudden he like spits out a web. I believe it was on to. I think it was going to stop. I think it was something with one of the gadgets, and he flung the spider web to stop it. And I thought he was trying to stop Jamie Foxx's character, but it ended up being it was Osborn, who was still pretending to be like he was Osborn, but he was really the Green Goblin all that whole time. And so he started doing his devilish evil laugh, and then everybody realized like, oh shit. And then even Otto Octavius, who's now not crazy no more, he's like, hey dude, come on, like he's gonna fix us. And then Jamie Foxx's character, his little thing on his chest starts to beep 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 up. And so him and kind of like the Green Goblin, kind of like, then they flee because they don't want to be fixed. And Osborn was just pretending. The Sandman, he's kind of like in between, trying to figure out, he wants to survive, but he don't know like which side to go to. Then the Lizard, he escapes, right? And so while this is happening, they're just the Goblin comes back in his little hover thing comes back, and then he gets on it, and then he smashed his mask earlier, so he's just it's just his face, and then he puts a little hood on, so he looks like the character from the cartoon. Like, it was so eerie. And so he was like, oh, and so basically in the scene, which got me emotional, okay, because he's like literally fighting this universe Peter Parker, and while Peter Parker is like literally getting his ass whooped, his Aunt May, who's very smart, grabs all the other instruments they were using to fix everybody. She grabs it and she's like trying to get out of the building. Okay? And Happy is on the way back to the apartment. Like, hey, who are these? He has the Ring doorbell thing, and he's like, who are these people in my house? Who are these people in my house? And so he gets there, and then basically the Green Goblin throws like a bomb-like thing towards he throws it into the apartment, and everything explodes. And then he throws another one towards Aunt May because he wants to. Because in his version of Spider-Man, he's trying to kill Peter Parker's girlfriend. So right now he's trying to find. He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill his Aunt May instead. And so he hits Aunt May. She's down, but then she's okay. She gets up. He gets up. He looking all bloody and everything. He's got the suit on from the last movie, the Avengers movie. So that's helping him. And then Aunt May is telling him like, "Hey, this is not your fault. You were doing things to help them. You have a gift out here to help people, and with that gift comes great power comes great responsibility, right?" And so the police are coming there because J. Jonah Jameson sent them over there. All the villains are out there. His friends are trying to figure out. He told them to keep the box, and then he would call them and let them know what to do, to hit the box so that everybody else can go back to their universe. But so they're waiting to hear from him. Then all of a sudden, Happy gets there. They arrest him, and he's telling Spider-Man, he's telling Peter Parker, run, Peter, run, because he's basically using himself as a distraction because he knows they're going to come and shoot him, right? So while he's doing that, him and Aunt May are about to now walk out of the building, right? All of a sudden, Aunt May kind of like falls and comes down. And then he sees like there's a whole bunch of blood coming from her. Then all of a sudden she lays on the ground. And he's yelling, "Hey, we need an ambulance in here. We need an ambulance in here." This one got me emotional, y'all. So Aunt May's like closing her eyes. She don't feel good. And he's telling her, "It's going to be okay, Aunt May. Help us on the way." I don't know who the hell wrote this shit in the goddamn Bible movie. But y'all had me bothered for like 5 minutes because y'all killed Aunt May. Why did you do this? Lord. Oh, you took away Tony's part and then Infinity War. Okay? You did all that. You did all that. You did all that. You killed Gwen Stacy in the second version of Spider-Man. Okay? All right? You killed the first Peter Parker's movie, his best friend who was trying to kill him. But still, I'm just like, you just gotta take out everybody in. You gotta take out one person from him. Well, actually, I was like, not his friend. You took Uncle Ben from him. In the first version of Spider-Man, I was like, dude, you always gotta take somebody from this dude. Like, how at risk are you making this dude be? He don't have no parents. He got to live with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Then in the first one, Uncle Ben died. Then in the second version, his girlfriend died. Then in this one, his Aunt May, who, by the way, me and my friend were talking. I said, wait, this Aunt May wouldn't marry him because we never saw Uncle Ben. We never heard of Uncle Ben. And I'm just like, Lord. I was boohooing for a good 5-10 minutes. I was like, no, why y'all do that? Why y'all do this to me? Why? Who couldn't? It's on his friend, so he's on the top of whatever the building, looking at the big I guess the billboard where they have the news. J. Jonah Jameson got this big old billboard giving the news, and he's talking bad about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's all beat up and crying, and it's raining on him and stuff. He don't have his mask and stuff. He got it all, and he got the stuff in the bag that Aunt May had saved, right? To cure them. So they go back to their universe and have a second chance. And I don't want to say it was damn Aunt May. Man, I mean, why used to be so nice? Told him to go out there and help these people and you got killed. He upset. He want to take vengeance. And I'm just like, I'm over here bothering this stuff. I was like, y'all ain't had to do that man like that. And the way y'all did it, you snuck up on me when you did it. Because she was standing, I was like, oh Lord, Aunt May died. I was like, oh Lord, Aunt May died. Then Aunt May stood up. And I was like, okay, Aunt May, okay. She limping, she all right. Then all of a sudden, she told him the last thing. Because you know they do that with the hero. They tell him one thing so they can go on with their life, and that be their mantra. So I guess this was this Spider-Man's version, right? Oh, Lord. Why y'all had to do that? Hey, DJ Craig B, you came in here late, so I don't know if you want to stay and do a replay, because the first 20 minutes, I did a review, no spoilers. Right now, I'm into the spoilers. And what got me boo-hooing in the movie that I was supposed to be, all right? So while this is happening, while he's up there listening to J. Jonah Jameson, really like thinking about vengeance and want to get back that Green Goblin because they're wreaking heck over the city now. Jamie Foxx got one of the little Stark things, and he's gonna power himself back up. Okay. So while he's doing that, his friends are back at, I think, his mom's house. No, his grandma's house, Grandma Lola. And so he has one of, with the box that Peter Parker, this universe Peter Parker got. They also got Doctor Strange's ring. I guess that's to help open the portals and stuff, right? Remember, they were fighting because he wants to help them and take them back. So MJ's like, I'm gonna press the box. And she's like, no. Let's not press the box yet. And so he was like, we just need to find Peter before we press this box. So he gets the ring and he starts doing this. And then all of a sudden we see somebody in a websuit walk through. And I'm looking at the dude like, nah. And I'm thinking like, is that Toby? Hey, Respective Angle Mode, just letting you know. Hey, Humble King Reloaded. Letting y'all know I am giving a review. So you may want to step out. The first 20 minutes, it was just a review. And this last 20 minutes, I am doing spoilers, okay? So just letting you know, if you haven't seen the movie, you might want to get it. It's a good movie. I think I'm going to see it again, though. But I'm just letting you know, okay? I warned you. I've been warning everybody. So, the best friend, I think his name Ned, right? He's like trying to find their Peter Parker, Tom Holland Peter Parker of this movie, and then all of a sudden another Peter Parker in a alley somewhere steps through, and then all of a sudden they're like something like, "Oh, is that Toby?" And I was like, he looked too skinny. That's probably Andrew Garfield. And it was Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And he walks in and he's like taking off his mask. And Jay started throwing bread at him. And he's like, "Can you please stop throwing bread at me? It's not gonna work." And so he's like, "Well, how do you know you're the other version's Peter Parker, right?" And he's like, he puts his hand up and he like dangles there, like, "Hey, see, I can, I can stick to the walls." And she was like, "Crawl across the wall, and we understand if you really Peter Parker Spider-Man." So grandma comes down. I think she was Filipino, and she's like, "Why you?" She starts speaking her Filipino language, and she's like telling him, "Hey, go over there and get that other cobweb while you up there and do some work." So he calls across and do the work, and so they realize that he is who he is, and they say, "Oh, we have been looking for," and so Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man from the second Spider-Man series of movies, he's telling Ned and MJ, he's like, "I'm looking for your Peter Parker." Because he knows that he's in a different universe. He's here now. And these other villains that he was fighting are here too. So he's like, "I'm going to look for him." So, the Respective Angle Mobile, I told you. Didn't I tell you to get up out of here? Do the replay. Stop at 20 minutes now. Okay? All right. So Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield steps through, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm here to help your Peter Parker. I think, I can help him." And so they're like, "Okay." And so this time they're trying to find, again, here comes Ned with the little thing he got from Doctor Strange. He's doing his little thing, trying to open up a portal to get there. They're trying to get Tom Holland Peter Parker. All of a sudden, he does it again, and some man, Tobey Maguire, by the way, not in his costume, but in regular clothes, steps through. And I'm like, "Damn, Tobey Maguire looking a little old." But I was like, I think Tobey Maguire is my age. But my friend looked it up. He's like 40, 47. So I was like, okay, he looks good for 47. You've been in your universe. You've been Spider-Man. Respective Angle Mobile. You need to stop. You need to stop. Okay? So he steps through, and he's like, and then so this is funny. So Tobey Maguire comes through and he's like, "Hey, I'm Peter Parker." And he's like, and the other two's like, "Oh, you must be the other version of Peter Parker." And then the other Peter Parker who's already there, Andrew Garfield Peter Parker, him and Toby look at each other, and all of a sudden they're trying to figure out if each other are evil or something. So they start to swing, what do you call it? Swinging webs at each other. And the grandma comes in and she starts speaking her language again. And they both realize, like, "Oh, we both Peter Parker, right?" But I didn't know this. The other Peter Parker, the original Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, he has webs swinging from his wrist, his actual wrist. The other two actually got to use devices for web slinging. So the other two were kind of impressed. They're like, "Oh, so hey, how do you fling the webs from your wrist?" They're like all impressed and everything, but that's another part of the story. So, so Grandma Lola started speaking her language and everything, and I was like, I started thinking she is upset. And so Ned says, Grandma Lola said, "Y'all better clean up some webs, and y'all don't spew it all over this room." And then she's like, "I'm going to bed." She walks out. It was funny to me. So basically, the rest of the movie, um, the three Peter Parkers are like, because remember they're scientists, they were very smart kids. They are literally working with each other to come up with the plan to get the villain. Okay, and let's say they accomplish their job. Oh, I'm gonna make you go see it. Okay, I hope so because it's really. I think I want to see it again. So like I said, I went to the bathroom 3 times and I missed some stuff. But they do work together to cure the villains. They feel like that's the only way to actually stop them. That we literally got to cure them so they will stop, and then we can put everybody else back in place. And at one point, it got a little emotional for me again because, like I said, it was very good in IMAX and RPX because listen, you got 3 web swinging Spider-Mans trying to capture villains. It was awesome. I'm just saying, it looked great visually. Um, and then there was a part where it got emotional again. They hugged. The 3 Spider-Mans hugged. It was like it was like a full circle thing. It's like, dang, we got Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, we got Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, we got Tom Holland Spider-Man, and they all working together and defeat the villains, and they're working together. And it's like, so hey, Dr. J. Kelly, this part of my review, I'm giving spoilers, so you might want to go back to the beginning. The first 20 minutes, I don't give any spoilers to give you my reaction. The rest of it, I'm giving spoilers. But I'm just saying, I love the movie. It was great. You can watch to see how they're able to accomplish their goal. Yeah. So, do stay after the movie's over with. There are 2 scenes. One from Venom that deals with the Venom character from the last, who's in the last 2 Venom movies. One is on the first Venom movie is on Hulu. The second Venom may be out in theaters still, or it's probably I do know it's on Amazon, Voodoo.com, and YouTube for rent. And I'm actually gonna go home and rent it because of that second credit scene. There was actually Venom. The Venom scene in the movie was the first one. The second scene in the movie was Doctor Strange. And y'all, they are setting it up for Doctor Strange too. And I am here for all of it, and I will be watching. Okay. The only thing I didn't tell you the last 15, 20 minutes. Okay. So but the ending, there was a bittersweet ending, but I'm just hoping that with the connections with the other Marvel movies, that somehow they're able to fix it. Maybe, I don't know. So, but yeah, this is my rundown of Spider-Man: No Way Home. Like I said, it's a good movie visually. Some of your worst people you don't like come back. Some of the best people you like come back. Looks great visually. Stay for the ending 2 scenes. Bring your mask, your hand sanitizer, social distance at the movie, and bring some tissues because I got emotional. Y'all ain't had to do AMA like that. Whose idea was that? I need to talk to them. I really do need to talk to them. Okay. When this video is over, I'm gonna put a timestamp. Hey, Miss NW50, so that the people who don't want spoilers, they can just stop, and the people who want to hear the rest of the thing, they can just keep going. So, but thank you so much for listening to me. Those of you who were here earlier, those of you who left, those of you who are going to watch this again in the replay, those of you in the audience, Miss NW50, Restructured Angle Mobile, Dr. Jack Kelly, DJ Craig B, Phil, Humble King Reloaded, Speaking to Roxanne. I Become a Freeland, Nova Real Show. Y'all definitely should go see it. And I know some of you don't want to go to the theater. You just might have to wait a couple months and see it on Disney Plus. But it's great. Right? I love Marvel movies too. This NW50, I do too. All right. Talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Bye.